Hi, welcome to Nerdlerd Unloaded, where we bring you just about anything that is of interest to people like yourself. But today we're talking about DBZ villains that face their midlife crisis. So sit back and enjoy. You're about to be entertained. We've all seen them, the fierce, galaxy-conquering villains of Dragon Ball Z with their rippling muscles, epic power levels, and hair that defies both gravity and common sense. But what happens when these intergalactic bad boys hit their 40s and 50s? Do they face the same mundane struggles as the rest of us mere mortals? In this expose, we'll delve into the hilarious and sometimes pathetic midlife crisis of our favorite DBZ antagonists. Prepare yourself for tales of cosmic hair plugs, planet-sized sports cars, and the existential dread that comes with realizing you've spent your entire life trying to defeat a spiky-haired monkey man, Frieza. The tyrannical real estate agent Frieza, once the most feared being in the universe, now finds himself staring into the mirror of his spaceship's bathroom, wondering where it all went wrong. His purple lips, once curled in a perpetual sneer, now sag with the weight of 1,000 conquered planets. As he applies a generous layer of space sunscreen to his dome, you don't get to be this pasty white without some serious UV protection, Frieza can't help but feel unfulfilled.
I've destroyed entire civilizations, blown up planets, and even came back from the dead. So why do I feel so empty?
The answer comes to him in a flash of inspiration brighter than his death beam: real estate. After all, he's spent his entire career dealing with property, mostly destroying it, but still. With a renewed sense of purpose, Frieza trades in his hover chair for a hover desk and sets out to become the galaxy's premier realtor. His first listing? Planet Namek, of course.
Scenic views, multiple suns, and only slightly crater-pocked from previous battles. Perfect fixer-upper for the aspiring galactic overlord.
But old habits die hard. During his first open house, Frieza finds himself struggling not to obliterate potential buyers who lowball him. "I'll give you 3 zenny for the entire southern hemisphere," one alien says. Frieza's eye twitches.
3 zenny? Do you know who I am? I once destroyed a planet for looking at me funny.
The alien blinks all 7 of its eyes. "Sir, this is a real estate transaction, not a genocide." Frieza takes a deep breath, remembering the anger management classes he's been taking.
You're right. How about we start at 5 zenny and negotiate from there?
As Frieza closes his first deal, a lovely little moon orbiting a gas giant perfect for a summer getaway, he feels a sense of accomplishment he hasn't experienced since his days of universal domination. Sure, the commission isn't quite as satisfying as the screams of his enemies, but at least it doesn't leave him out of breath and needing to transform 3 times. Cell, the perfect organism's imperfect fitness journey. Cell, the bio-android designed to be the perfect warrior, has hit a slump. After years of inactivity following his defeat at the hands of Gohan, Cell finds himself struggling with something he never thought possible: a dad bod.
I don't understand.
Cell grumbles, poking at the slight paunch that's developed where his perfect abs used to be.
I'm made of the cells of the greatest warriors in the universe. How can I be flabby?
Determined to regain his chiseled physique, Cell embarks on a fitness journey that would make even Goku's training regimen look tame. He signs up for every fad workout class in Otherworld.
Otherworld soul cycling. Feel the burn in muscles you didn't even know your borrowed cells had. Yoga for reformed villains. Find your inner peace, or at least stop trying to absorb it from others. CrossFit chaos. Lift weights heavier than the gravity of King Kai's planet.
Cell throws himself into his new routine with the same intensity he once reserved for trying to destroy the Earth. He becomes that guy at the gym, the one who can't stop talking about his gains and his macros.
Did you know that if you mix the proteins of a Saiyan, a Namekian, and a whatever Frieza is, you get the perfect post-workout shake?
He boasts to anyone unfortunate enough to be within earshot. His fitness obsession reaches new heights when he decides to start his own workout program. The infomercials are a hit in hell, but sales in the living world are surprisingly low. Desperate for validation, Cell even reaches out to his old nemesis, Gohan, on Facebook.
Hey, champ! Long time no see, or fight to the death. Just wondering if you'd be interested in trying out my new fitness program? First session's free, and I promise not to absorb you this time. #fitness Goals. Hashtag Cell Games 2.0.
Gohan leaves him on read. As Cell struggles with his new gym obsession, he begins to realize that maybe being perfect isn't all it's cracked up to be. Perhaps there's more to life than having the ultimate power and the ultimate six-pack. Maybe, just maybe, the real perfection was the enemies he made along the way. But who are we kidding? This is Cell we're talking about. He'll probably just absorb a gym trainer and call it a day. Majin Buu, the sweetest midlife crisis. Majin Buu, the pink terror with a sweet tooth that could put Willy Wonka out of business, finds himself facing an unexpected crisis: diabetes.
But no understand! Boo always eat candy! Why candy betray Boo now?
Forced to confront his sugar addiction, Boo reluctantly agrees to see a nutritionist. The poor doctor nearly faints when she calculates that Boo's daily caloric intake is roughly equivalent to the entire population of West City. "Mr. Boo," she says, trying to maintain her composure, "have you ever considered vegetables?" Boo's antenna twitches in confusion.
Vegetables? Is that new kind of chocolate?
And so begins Majin Buu's hilarious journey into the world of healthy eating. He mistakes broccoli for tiny trees and tries to turn them into candy. He attempts to absorb a farmer's market, hoping to gain their nutritional knowledge. He even starts a cooking show called Boo's Bitchin' Kitchen, where he tries, and mostly fails, to create healthy versions of his favorite sweets.
Today, Boo make carrot cake, but all carrot, no cake, is healthy magic!
As Boo struggles to adapt to his new lifestyle, he finds an unlikely ally in Vegeta, who takes pity on the former villain and secretly enjoys watching him suffer through salads. Vegeta growls during one of their training sessions.
Listen here, you pink marshmallow. If I can overcome my pride and become a family man, you can overcome your sweet tooth and become slightly less of a blob.
Boo considers this, then brightens.
Maybe Boo can turn family into candy and eat them!
Vegeta facepalms. Clearly, they still have a long way to go. In the end, Boo finds a balance, learning to appreciate the occasional carrot stick while still indulging in the odd planet-sized sundae. He may not be the terror he once was, but at least he's no longer in danger of falling into a sugar coma mid-battle. Vegeta, the prince of all midlife crisis. Yes, we know Vegeta eventually became one of the good guys, but let's face it, he'll always be a villain at heart. And no one, absolutely no one, does a midlife crisis quite like the prince of all Saiyans. It all starts when Vegeta realizes he's been surpassed not just by Goku, but by Goku's children, Goku's children's friends, and probably even Goku's pet rock. His response? The most epic, over-the-top midlife crisis the universe has ever seen. First comes the spaceship. Not just any spaceship, mind you, but a planet-sized vessel shaped like Vegeta's own head, complete with a widow's peak sharper than his attitude. He calls it the SS Prince. The SS stands for Super Saiyan, obviously.
Behold, Kakarot! This is what a true Saiyan midlife crisis looks like!
Vegeta announces, hovering above Goku's house in his new ride. Goku looks up from his farming, squinting. Vegeta's eye twitches. Next comes the hair dye. Tired of being outdone by Goku's ever-changing hair colors, Vegeta decides to one-up him by dyeing his hair every color of the rainbow simultaneously. The result is a constantly shifting, epilepsy-inducing light show that makes him look like a rejected member of the Ginyu Force. But Vegeta's coup de grace? He starts his own self-help empire.
Vegeta's Guide to Princely Living: How to Achieve Your Final Form and Still Have Time for Family Dinner.
His seminars are a mix of motivational speaking, anger management, and extreme training techniques.
Turn your workplace rivals into actual rivals. The art of office combat. Parenting like a Saiyan. How to raise your power level and your kids. Relationship advice. Keeping the spark alive when your wife can literally kill you.
Bulma, for her part, handles her husband's crisis with the patience of a saint and the exasperation of someone who's been putting up with Saiyan nonsense for far too long. "Honey," she says one day, watching Vegeta try to squeeze into leather pants that would make even Yamcha blush, "don't you think this is getting a bit much?" Vegeta pauses, one leg in the pants, his rainbow hair pulsing with indignation.
Woman, I am the prince of all Saiyans. Everything I do is, by definition, the perfect amount of much.
He then promptly falls over, tangled in his too tight pants. In the end, Vegeta's midlife crisis fizzles out when he realizes two things. One, being a good father and husband is far more challenging and rewarding than trying to surpass Kakarot. And two, leather pants are really uncomfortable to fight in. The Ginyu Force, midlife crisis meets midlife choreography. The Ginyu Force, once the most feared and fabulous mercenary team in the universe, finds themselves facing a collective crisis. It turns out that maintaining perfect synchronized poses is a lot harder when you're dealing with creaky joints and receding hairlines. Captain Ginyu, ever the leader, calls an emergency team meeting in the depths of hell.
Man, we've got a problem. Our routine is getting, dare I say it, old.
The rest of the team gasps in horror. But Captain, Jace protests, his once luscious white hair now thinning, our poses are timeless.
Are they, Jace? Are they really? When was the last time we updated our choreography? When was the last time we went viral on Space Talk?
Rukum scratches his head. What's Space Talk?
Exactly my point.
And so, the Ginyu Force embarks on a mission to reinvent themselves for a new generation. Their efforts include trying to incorporate modern dance moves into their routines. The sight of Birder attempting to twerk is something that haunts even the most hardened souls in hell. Rebranding themselves as a boy band, the Ginyu Boys. Their first single, Pose for My Heart, fails to chart. Starting a fitness program, Ginyu Force your way to fabulous. It consists entirely of increasingly ridiculous poses. Their crowning achievement, however, is their attempt to go viral with the Ginyu Force Challenge. The idea is simple. Participants must perform the team's signature poses while doing everyday tasks. Unfortunately, the challenge leads to a wave of intergalactic incidents.
A Namekian
Dislocates both shoulders trying to pose while watering his Agisa plants. The Galactic Patrol reports a 500% increase in traffic accidents due to drivers posing at the wheel. King Kai's planet starts spinning backwards after he attempts the challenge. As their midlife crisis reaches its peak, the Ginyu Force decides to take their show on the road. They launch a comeback tour across hell, billing it as the Pose Ibli last tour ever. The reviews are mixed. In the end, the Ginyu Force learns that while they may not be as spry as they once were, their unbreakable team spirit and unintentional comedy is truly timeless. Conclusion: villains just want to have fun. As we've seen, even the most dastardly DBZ villains aren't immune to the ravages of time and the uncertainty that comes with middle age. From Frieza's foray into real estate, these once terrifying foes have shown us that there's life after trying to destroy the universe. Perhaps the lesson here is that it's never too late to reinvent yourself, whether you're a reformed planet destroyer or just a regular Earthling hitting your 40s. After all, if Cell can trade in his perfect form for a dad bod and still find happiness, there's hope for us all. So the next time you feel the urge to buy a sports car or dye your hair an outrageous color, remember, somewhere out there, Vegeta is probably doing the same thing, but with a much higher power level. In the grand scheme of things, maybe these midlife crises aren't so much about recapturing youth as they are about discovering new aspects of ourselves. And if that self-discovery happens to involve questionable fashion choices, bizarre career changes, or galaxy-spanning shenanigans, well, that's just part of the journey. Who knows? Maybe the Dragon Balls were the real midlife crisis we had along the way. If you liked this video, please be sure to like, sub, and share for more content. Until we meet again, Nerdlerd out.